This is the Tom Anderson Show, broadcasting live from the KVNT studios, 7 to 9 a.m., Monday through Friday.
Across the nation, large cities, medium-sized cities, many cities are experiencing homelessness, and it's becoming chronic. We read the headlines, LA, San Francisco, certainly California, larger cities, but even up in Alaska, right here, the biggest city in Alaska, Anchorage, has a similar problem. Anchorage Mayor Dave Bronson joins us, and he has an idea. He's proposing giving plane tickets to Anchorage's homeless folks, and they can leave the state, and he feels it could very likely prevent their demise with exposure during the cold, harsh winters in Anchorage. So, Mayor Bronson, thanks for joining us. Where did you come up with this idea? Was it yours, or did you find it from another city in the nation?
Well, Tom, you're right. We are the largest city. We have 40% of the population, but we're taking care of 65% of the state's homeless population, and this is a maybe an act of desperation or a Hail Mary pass. My job is to keep people alive in this city. That's public safety, and I thought by now we would have a large shelter where I could put people. So I'm left with this, and it is my decision. I directed a couple of weeks ago our homeless coordinator Alexis Johnson to start the machinery. We've actually, the program in a limited way has been in place since last year, and it was administered by the Salvation Army. And I think we had 11 people take us up on the offer to go down to the lower 48. And I think we did 11. But this has to be far larger in scale. And quite frankly, wherever they want to go, we're going to give them a ticket to go. It's sad that we've gotten here, but if someone has a better way of saving lives, I'm all open. But this is those people that want to leave. We're not going to compel anyone to leave. But if they want to leave, we will provide the $600 airline ticket and send them on their way.
Late May, Mayor,
or a family member.
Yeah, Anchorage Daily News, our biggest print publication, wrote in late May an article talking about covering the tally up to, I guess, the beginning of the year 2023, that some are suggesting there's almost 1,800 people homeless in Anchorage. But then in the article, it noted that officials and experts, I don't know which officials and which experts, they say the real number is likely double that, like over 3,000. What is your understanding of the approximate number of homeless in Anchorage? Is it over 3,000, or is it more the 1,800 number?
Well, you need to categorize that. So the total number of people that are homeless, considered homeless, that we help in some way is a little over 3,000. But some of them, these are people that have jobs, cars, they just can't afford the rent. They've got insurance on the cars, and we may give them through whatever federal or state or local program, give them rent assistance. But when we're talking about the visible homeless, the ones that we see in the street, the official count is about 775, and I have no reason to believe it's other than that. And these are the people who are the most problematic, both for themselves and for themselves, and obviously for the taxpayer. So those are the ones that when we talk about
that's the number. Well, you've got a re-election next year, right, and you'd like to continue to serve and lead the city. And as you lead it, when someone says, "Hey, this conceivably, if you look at data, could be the most homeless we've had under your watch," how do you respond to that? Especially when the Daily News, the narratives typically circle around you, suggesting maybe this is caused by your policies or efforts. I mean, you've had many ideas that your team has and your staff have looked at and either tried to replicate from other successful cities dealing with homeless in the lower 48 or here in Alaska. What's your response to someone saying under your watch it's growing?
Well, I don't think it's grown. When I came into office, it was really bad, and it's still really bad. We've made some measures to clean up downtown. We've created a task force of roughly 10 people. Sometimes it's much more. That includes multiple departments, to include the police department on foot patrols and downtown. But we have the Third and Ingrid Challenge, and we are now within that footprint coming in and more intensively managing that. We're putting stripes on the grounds. You have to park your cars here. You just can't park wherever you want. We're looking at now assigning spots for their tents. So we'll do, in lower 48 cities have had great success with this. You come in, you bring order to the camp. So we'll put white squares, roughly 10-foot squares on the ground, says that's where your tent can be. Anything outside that 10-foot square, that white square, is considered garbage, and we will treat it as such, and we will collect it and dispose of it. So, and that's good for not only.
Now, have you spoken with your counterparts, Mayor? You're the mayor of Anchorage here in Alaska, but have you spoken with the mayor or his or her staff in Seattle or in Portland? Because I think they've tried the same model or paradigm with tent camps.
I've spoken here the other day. I think it was Thursday. I spoke with the county commissioner for San Diego County, Jim Desmond, good guy. Actually, he's a retired Delta pilot like I am. And he was the mayor of a smaller town of about 100,000 people before that. And he's facing, it's like, it gets to the point where we can complete each other's sentences because we're dealing with the exact same thing.
Of course. Well, one of my favorite mayors was Kevin Faulconer, a conservative, one of the few times a large city in the nation, they're almost all run by Democrats. Kevin Faulconer was a Republican and a thoughtful mayor of San Diego. He was in from 2014 to 20, and I'm sure that San Diego residents miss him.
Yeah, I suspect they do, but is what Jim Desmond told me. He says San Francisco has failed. He says Los Angeles is probably about to fail. He didn't define, but I think when you have major retailers walking away from their real estate in downtown Seattle or downtown San Francisco, I think you understand that. We all understand that as failure. Well, as I look at much of what we're doing here in Anchorage, is we're following in the same footprint. That is, we're doing the same things that led to failure. And it's just keep providing more and more and more at the taxpayer's expense. And there is this presumption that I see when I'm in these camps, and I spend a lot of time there, is that there's becomes a sense of entitlement. Not a sense of being gracious and thankful to the taxpayers providing this, and it gets to the point where they break the law, they defecate in places. I'm sent videos nearly daily of somebody just dropping trousers in the middle of someone's driveway. My wife sent me one 2 days ago, and it's just I get it. And at some point, someone's got to stand up for the taxpayer, the person paying the bill, and saying, "Hey, are you getting?" Ask the question: are you getting what you think you deserve for the amount of tax dollars that you're paying through your property taxes? And I think too often the answer is no. We've got a great police department, a great fire department, great public works, but at the end of the day, this homeless issue has been allowed to fester for many years, and I've come in, I think, with a sensible, forthright, straightforward solution, and every time I propose something, it's shot down. So I've got to use the tools that I'm allowed to do as an executive and get these people off our street.
And Mayor, one more question, since we're talking about you giving plane tickets to the homeless, can they go with that $600 to Juneau, to Fairbanks, to rural Alaska, or is that only out of state?
They can go right now, the way we're proposing it, the way I've proposed it, is they can go anywhere. We have been allowing them to only go to the lower 48, but I've got to open this up. We know Fairbanks, the Valley, Kenai, we know they send, because we interview these people, we know they send some of their homeless here. And that's got to stop. Everyone's got to, this is a statewide problem. It needs to be a statewide solution. The legislature needs to step in. But the taxpayers I'm responsible to, that is in Anchorage, I simply can't allow them to keep paying this whole bill. Even as we not only pay it fiscally, we pay it culturally because it's harming our streets. And so, but I can't tell people where to go, but I can say wherever you want to go, let me help you with that.
And it's $600. Folks, Mayor Dave Bronson of the municipality of Anchorage proposing to give plane tickets to Anchorage's homeless this winter, and maybe they can escape either injury or death from winter exposure. Mayor Bronson, appreciate your time. I know you got to bounce to a meeting. Folks, we'll make a YouTube video of this, so put your comments below. And Mayor, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
You betcha. That's Mayor Dave Bronson of Anchorage. And you can give me your thoughts, 357-5868. As I said, we'll make a YouTube video of this interview. Give me your thoughts on our YouTube channel, Tom Anderson Show. Make sure you subscribe. Stick with us. Good morning.